Just a quick update. I didn't get absolutely anything done yesterday. As I said, I had to go round my mates to remove two radiators, so I went round there, cut in a drain cock, drained his central heating system down, took the two radiators off the wall, capped off the pipes, refilled and vented his system, and that, no leaks. Wee. And and that took ages, and by the time we got back it was about 3:30, I think, so, or even 4 o'clock, because the missus wanted to nip into the supermarket to get a few bits and pieces. Anyway, and what have I done today? Nothing much. My obsession with rust continues. I've got some different things I've been trying. That's the AK one, so left overnight, so it doesn't only corrode, it gives you the textures as well. Ignore the light orange in the bottom right, because I've put that on myself, but I'm trying that on another piece over here at the moment, and on a few little things. But these are all the different rust effects that I've been playing around with, some really heavy and some quite light. What I have found though that might be of interest to some people, to add a texture like that one, I used UV glue, just stippled it on with a sponge. It was then put it under the lamp and just went over that using my own rust palette there. And the other way, if you want a more blistered texture like that one, trouble is these cards are so thin I can't pick them up. A more blistered texture, that is PVA glue, just brushed on lightly, and then with a heat gun just apply the heat and it bubbles up, and that creates your blisters. And this is cinnamon, ground cinnamon, just laid on top of the wet PVA and sort of pushed in with a sponge. That's it raw on the end there, and that's with some rust colours added on them two. So that has come out really heavily corroded. So, but yeah, trouble with a lot of these is I can't remember what I've used and what I've done now, because I've done so many. But back to the elephant in the room, the artwork on the jukebox. Well, because I'm not really confident in stenciling it, I spent the morning printing out on vinyl just a couple of band logos, and that one cocked up somewhere down the line. I don't know why, because it immediately printed another sheet on normal paper afterwards, perfect. But that's so these are just waiting to be cut out and stuck on. But obviously can't cut them out at the moment because I've got all this crap here. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. So just a quick 5-minute update. As I said, I've really done nothing yesterday or today, but yeah, just a quick 5 minutes. Back down here again today. First thing I want to do is clear that off so I can start cutting out the artwork and see what it looks like on that. Some things I did try before I packed up yesterday was using the UV resin to like sort of build up layers, and that at the bottom there is UV resin with cinnamon pushed into it and then cured. That is the AK set, which I quite like the look of, but that one has come out really good. The darker was a thick coating of the base, and this was just a light coating, and you can see compared to the first one where I sort of put it thick all over, it looks a hell of a lot better. I like that. One thing I didn't tell you yesterday, which is just about sort of sums our life up. I was just about to come down here and we got a text or a phone call from an aunt. She'd fallen over in the bedroom and she couldn't get up, so we had to go round there and sort of pick her up. Like, she was all right, but she sounded very sort of slurry, so like we were wondering whether she had a stroke or not. But after she'd been sat down for a couple of minutes, like, she was able to get up. Like, she uses a rollator, she was able to get up and walk around. So like, we made her a cup of tea, kept an eye on her, and then we come back home, and then we're getting phone calls from the rest of the family. She's just sent me a text, like, it's gobbledygook. And then someone else, I just got a text, it's gobbledygook. Like, is she all right? And that, I've got. So the missus tries phoning her again. Don't answer her mobile, don't answer her landline. So the missus goes, oh, right, haven't heard from her in about an hour. So she goes round there again, and it's like the aunt's all right, but she keeps saying the phone's not working. It's like the phone's not working. So the missus tries the phone, like, and says, like, it's working fine. She said, no, it's not working, like. And so the missus said, it's you, you're pressing all the wrong buttons, you're sending texts to people that are absolutely gobbledygook. He goes, no, it's like the phone. Anyway, she was all right, and so we left her. And but it seems, this is scary at the time, but funny looking back. What she'd done was, she'd taken a lorazepam before she went to bed, so she could sleep. She woke up in the morning and took another one, which you're not supposed to do. And then, about an hour later, she found another one on the bed. She forgot she'd taken the one earlier, so she took that one. So that's like freelarazepam and that. She was off of her nut. That's what it was. She phoned up this morning and that, absolutely fine. Can't even remember us going round there yesterday. Can't remember sending all the texts. Can't remember nothing. So I got a junkie on. She was right off of her crust. Anyway, that's just another insight into my normal life, or as normal as this family allows. But I'm going to get on now, clear this off and start cutting some artwork out. That's that cleaned up and wiped down, so just about to get the ruler out and the scalpel and the scissors and try cutting up some artwork. I'll have a rant about YouTube later, remind me. This is taking a bit longer than expected, but like, I don't know if you can hear. Oh, come here. All the rain on the roof. We got a yellow rain warning down here and a flood warning, but I've just got nice and wet because I had to go up to give the cat some Munchables. Lucky I did, because my Amazon, or a delivery from Amazon, just popped up, or I saw him as I was giving the cat his food. I think, ouch, this is, yeah, some stone textured paint that I want to try on them little lamps. It's like the cat tea light ones and that. So yeah, let's get back to cutting some of these. I doubt whether you want to watch all this because it is pretty boring, but and I think they are going to look crap on there because the black on the printer is not the same black as the paint on the jukebox, so they're going to stick out like a sore thumb unless I can do something. Anyway, whilst I'm doing this, I'll have my rant about YouTube. Seeing as this is a new channel, YouTube tends to be slinging a load of shit at me to see what sticks, because it obviously doesn't know what I like. So at the moment I've got one that popped up this morning, sports bra versus no bra on a pogo stick. How's that for enlightenment and entertainment? And I've got a load of, for some reason, unless they think I'm a, well, no, I know the reason, they're just slinging it at me. Bloody girls in shorts. There's one trying on my summer shorts. There was another one that was just a woman in a virtually see-through dress cleaning a door, a shower door and that, and I thought, what the so that's the 3 buttons, do not recommend this channel. 3 buttons, do not recommend this channel. But and then there's all others of people dying. I've got 3rd stage, 4th stage, this cancer, that cancer, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, do not recommend this channel. And then there's other ones. How to make $150,000 a month using a 3D printer or a laser engraver. I made $1 million in a year through doing this and that. Yeah, great. How to make money on YouTube. All them kind of videos. People giving up YouTube. I'm closing my channel because etc. Or YouTube has gone down the pan. And then you've got all the AI feeds on there. You won't believe this was caught on camera. No, epoxy AI, that's why. And all that crashes and natural disasters and that, which are clearly bloody AI, like you get a sodding jumbo jet crashing into a waterfall or something. But yeah, what a load of old pony. Anyway, that's me rant over, and I'm gonna continue cutting these out, as I said. But I've got a feeling it's gonna look a bit crap, and you can tell by the way, well, you can tell the way my brain works with that rust thing, because I suddenly become super focused on a rust effect for no reason whatsoever, really, other than my brain sort of clicked, right, I want to crack that. So I'll get super focused on that and forget about this just until I crack that. And that is that's the way my brain has always worked. I did have a YouTube channel with what, over nearly 300 subscribers, I think, over 100,000 views, and I just stopped it because basically it was a lock-picking channel, what I'd always been interested since I was a kid in lock-picking, but you couldn't get the stuff. Now you can. So I thought, right, I'm going to give that a go. So I did, and it took a few years, but I finally got quite good at it and could crack high security locks. Even opened a couple of drug safes, which are 7 lever. If you don't know, I picked them, and that all them little Stanley digital safes, they're so easy to open. Some multi-locks, some really high security dimple locks, and yeah, I cracked it, and then I just dropped it. Should have carried that one on. Probably would have got monetized and could have been making a little bit of money. Because if I do get monetized, I don't want to make a shitload of money. It'd be nice though if it was something like, I don't know, a $5 a video or something, because that would pay, especially when doing this kind of stuff. That would pay for like me wood for the laser, paints, bits and pieces from the Chinese supermarket, like electronic components and that. But I doubt it's ever going to happen. Talking about the Chinese supermarket, I've got a delivery coming today, but that's not until later, so I'll have to save that and show you what it is in the next video. But yeah, right, I'm going to continue doing this because me waffling on and you watching me cut paper ain't very entertaining, is it? unless I do it in a stupid voice, which I ain't gonna do. So I'll be back once I've cut all this out and we start sticking them on. Still say it's gonna look shit. One thing that I did notice, that it's probably down to the crap paper that I bought, or the inkjet vinyl, is the black. All you've got to do is touch it and it comes off. So I've just temporarily stuck them to this board and I'm going to clear coat them, see whether I can protect them. This could go horribly wrong. What I should have done was top coated them while they were still on the big sheets. That would have been easier. And I've just noticed that light is going now, so I'll have to get another one of them. But yeah, so I'll have to wait until that dries now. Hopefully I'll be able to get them off, even if I have to peel them off of there. But yeah, it's quite nice being down here when it's pouring down with rain outside. It's like being in a tent or a camper van or something. There's a bit of rain coming down. Right, I've got to wait for that to dry. I'll put a stone coat on that and see what that comes out like. Quick tip: if you're using Rust-Oleum stone, bleach stone paint, don't do it in a blimey, I've forgotten the name of it. Don't do it in one of these, because it makes an absolute bloody mess. And it's not as good as the other textured stone paint that I'm using. I would suggest you do it from quite a way away as well, because it's quite fluid when it goes on. 10 to 1 I won't be able to take this apart again now. Put the resin in. But spray booth, that's the word I was looking for. But yeah, it's pretty messy stuff. Do it outside and do it from quite a way away, just to get light coats on. Now that takes 6 hours to dry. So yeah. So while the lacquer's dry, the lacquer or the top coat's drying, back to the rust again. And I found out something rather interesting through an accident. I've been mixing up my own rust colours with using ground cinnamon and that to make like a thick paste, and I've been using my heat gun to dry them, but I went a bit, or left it a bit too long. And if you really want a bubbling up rust effect, that has come out absolutely great. I think it was like I got too close with a heat gun and it started bubbling up, so I kept going and then the bubbles burst. But that gives a lovely textured, really heavy corrosion effect. Anyway, better go and see whether that lacquer's dry. Get off the rust. That is crap. I'm going to have to give it another coat. It's probably good if you're spraying it on pots or stuff like that, but I don't think it's going to be any good for what I want it for. Anyway, the lacquer is all dried and it's given the stickers a nice sheen to them. and it should protect them. I've just started slapping them on. Still don't know my final thoughts on that, but it's better than just bare black. Anyway, they're the ones to go along the top, and on the sides I think I will bite the bullet and do a couple of stencils, because I especially want to do that Eddie one, because I like that, and also I like that bottom one there. I might do one on each side of that. Might actually make it a bit, cut another stencil with it a bit bigger, as a matter of fact, to go on the sides, one that side and one the other side, or have that on the bottom and just a big Eddie on the top. We'll see. But my mate's just come round, who I done a central eating job for the other day, and he's just bought me 2 crates of Budweiser around, so that'll do. So I'm gonna go and upload this now, because it's getting on a little bit, and then tomorrow I'll hopefully get down here, do the Eddie stencil and the rock stencil, stick the rest of them on. I think the Chinese supermarket delivery that's coming later this evening has got 2 alternative sound controllers in it, so you can try them out tomorrow. Might have to modify them, not quite sure, because the descriptions on the pages didn't make it quite clear if they were 3-pin or 4-pin. I think they're 4-pin, but I think they're the wrong adapters, so I will just have to jury rig something. So I've got some pin headers up there and some DuPonts and some JSTs, so I should be able to do something. But that's it for today. Just a bit disappointed with that Rust-Oleum paint, seeing as it was a tenner a can, and I'm sure the last stuff that I used was Plazzy coat or something, and that went on far better than that. Anyway, it'll probably get used for something like a pot in the garden or something, although it's indoors only. So yeah, 6 hours to touch dry, and I've just been over it with a heat gun and bits were still coming off. So yeah, don't like that. Anyway, see you all tomorrow.